Well, happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to another Cruise Chat Live. My name is Donovan, and I'm your host and independent travel agent with ELK Travel. We specialize in cruise vacations all around the world to destinations like Alaska, Europe and the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and so many more. And today we are so excited to welcome back our good friend Sarah from Princess Cruises to chat all about the latest updates from Princess, Alaska Cruising with Princess, and I just saw Princess announce 2027 and 2028 itineraries over in Northern Europe. So definitely more than enough to talk about. Sarah, welcome back and thank you for coming.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so we have lots of exciting updates. I'll start off with the one that you just mentioned with our Northern Europe program. So, this is actually some inside scoop. It's not out for sale yet, but will be
I saw
very
that.
soon, starting January 13th. So, now's the perfect time to start just talking to Donovan, letting him know what if you're interested in Northern Europe. There's obviously going to be an incredible sale that we have going on right now. With that, there's onboard credit opportunities where you can get up to $2,000. Captain Circle members, you can get up to $400 of instant savings, as well as just other deals we have going on too. So lots of great things, lots of great promotions during this time frame as well. Really kicking off the new year very strong. Um,
Definitely.
so yeah, if there's anything that you're interested in with that regard, definitely reach out to Donovan. He can let you know all of the new ports that we're going to in terms of Northern Europe. We've expanded and added an additional ship. So
I
we're going
saw
to have
that. That's
lots of
exciting.
great. Yeah, we're so excited to have another ship joining those different voyages. So we're really able to get to different types of ports. Because we'll have larger ships and then definitely smaller ships too, which sometimes you need to have a smaller ship to access certain areas. 6 different regions. You can cross the Atlantic Ocean, go to the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, the Baltic, Iceland, and British Isles. So, really great things that we have with all of our new having royal or the regal princess, excuse me, adding that ship, we're able to get
Yes,
just so much more. So it's very exciting.
definitely. And I will tell folks, I have been on a cruise to Norway a couple of years ago, and hands down has still held as one of the best cruises I have ever been on. And, it's funny because whenever you hear Princess, everybody, of course, talks about Alaska. Princess is certainly the one of the top cruise lines there in Alaska, but they forget that Princess is a global cruise line. You literally cruise to basically everywhere, all the continents, hundreds of countries. And so Princess can literally take you everywhere. So super excited to chat about all that and kind of dive in more. Sarah, feel free if you have any slides or anything you want to share, you can pop those up on the screen and we'll show those off for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I have really exciting content for Alaska that I would love to show. Something that is also a really great opportunity that you would only get access to by working with Donovan is again working with the travel advisor. There's so many good additional benefits. You have that safety net and protection of having
Yes.
a advisor work for you, really vouch for you and champion you. But not only that, they also get access to exclusive offers that you will not find out in the marketplace. So I always like mentioning that. There's 2 exciting opportunities I love sharing. Said there's one opportunity with our or 2 opportunities with our cruise tours. One is northbound, one, and you get over $150 worth of added value if you book with Donovan and you do these specific voyages. So with Princess,
Awesome.
we're
Awesome.
known. Yeah, it's great. The $150 worth of added value include things like the Music of Denali, dining theater experience, a Tundra Wilderness Tour upgrade, 2 breakfasts are included, and then up to $60 of onboard credit that you can use per stateroom. The Tundra Wilderness Tour, I went on that this past summer. It
Yes.
truly was life changing. I Love Alaska. I can't wait to go back to Alaska. I saw wild bears for the first time. I literally
Hmm.
cried so hard. Seeing caribou and all the different animals was just such an absolute treat. And again, you can get that tour upgrade if you book with Donovan and you do these specific voyages.
Now, with that in mind, I want to touch on that really fast because that's one of the biggest questions I get when folks are planning to go up to Denali. They ask, well, what's the difference between I see the natural history tour, I see Tundra Wilderness tour, and I know some of the Princess Cruise tours include the Tundra Wilderness tour just from the get go. But can you talk about, especially since you've been there and have personally experienced, what are like some of those big differences between those two tours and why is one maybe better than the other?
Yeah, I can only speak about the Tundra Wilderness Tour because that's the one that I've experienced. But it was
Hmm.
a really great tour because they pick you up, and all the tours will pick you up from the lodges, so you don't have to worry about going somewhere. It's literally done from the lodge. Of course, Alaska is known for being, if you have beautiful weather, very very great. For us, it was a little bit gloomy and a little bit rainy, but when we walked out, obviously the lodges are covered, so we weren't impacted by the rain, which was really great. And so we were able to hop on this bus, and then the bus took us to Denali, and we were able to have this awesome bus ride with an expert commentator. And they literally showed us through the national park, pointed out animals. They had really cool devices and cameras on board and TVs
Oh,
on
wow.
board. So we were able to zoom in with their incredible camera lens and see animals very, very far. So it was just such a cool way and different way to be able to experience Alaska, be able to experience Denali. And of course, with just the nature terrain, those buses are really built for going through the national park.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun being able to have that safety net and not have to worry about you yourself hiking or driving.
Right.
And again, like we were able to see bears during our time. Obviously, you can't guarantee seeing wildlife like that,
Yeah.
but it truly was just such a life-changing experience because the bears were so close to our bus where we literally popped out, took photos of
Wow.
the bears, and they walked right next to the bus. So it was, yeah, just a truly life-changing experience.
And it is like it's a super accessible tour for anybody because I get that question a lot. People I think get intimidated when they think of Alaska and they think about Denali that they're going to be doing all this hiking and all that, but it's really not that. Anybody can go on these
Mhm.
tours and go to Denali.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we've been in Alaska for so long, right? So
Hmm.
we understand having things be ADA compliant and making things just more accessible overall. So when you go on this exclusive offer that I was talking about, it's called a cruise tour, which let me see if I have a slide that explains it in greater details. But a cruise tour essentially offers a cruising portion, a land portion, as well as a train portion. And so when you're
Right. You've got
going
the
on the
train.
train, yes, the train. And so that is just such a great experience that you can have. As you can see with the train portion, here we go. This is probably a better view.
There we go.
But you
Yeah.
get, yes, but you have that glass dome. On when we went on, there is the lifts that they have for if you are a wheelchair user, if you have a mobile scooter, there's literally a lift that'll help bring you up to the second floor. So you can get into that glass dome. And of course, if you want to go dine downstairs, you also can use that same elevator to go down. And then again, it was very accessible in the fact that we had a lot of these buses. When you go through a tour, you don't have to worry about the transportation. Everything is covered, everything is
Hmm.
done. So, literally getting off the ship, we hopped on a charter bus. That charter bus brought us to the train station. All we had to do was get off the train or get off the bus and walk towards the train and then get on board. So, again, they do have it so it's very, very accessible. To be able to
Perfect.
experience Alaska. I always say it's great for Alaska too because you can go at your own pace. Obviously, if you're somebody who really enjoys going on hikes, doing a lot of physically active things,
You can do
that's
that.
completely exactly. You can do that. Or if you're somebody who likes to have just more of a relaxing pace type of a activity, you can totally find excursions and other things for that as well, or just stay within the town. Our lodges are beautiful. Our Denali Lodge, I just got lost in. There's all these fun shops and there's all these great things. So I literally did spend one of my evenings just staying at the lodge because there was so much to do within the vicinity.
Exactly. And isn't it I think you told me the McKinley Lodge has the treehouse, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
The McKinley Lodge is stunning. It is actually my favorite one. When we went, the rooms were just gorgeous. They were celebrating Christmas in summer. So it was a really fun experience seeing Mr. and Mrs. Claus walk around and give us cookies. It
That's
was so
incredible.
fun. Yeah, it was a really great thing. And yeah, so when they had that, I believe it was August 25th that like we were there, so we were able to have that experience. But it is definitely more in the mountains. Definitely, you get that wilderness feel. But they do have that episode from the treehouse, and so you can actually go there if you're lucky. You can see Denali from that area too. It has a really great view of
Right.
just the outlook. So it's a really awesome experience. And it's a beautiful lodge. What's also great about that too is they actually had a bus, even though it was a shorter walk, there is stairs to go up. So even me, I'm from Florida, we're severely below sea level. So the altitude does have an impact on me. But I did hike up those stairs. But if you don't want to, it was funny. As I was leaving, I found out that they had a shuttle that literally brought you from the treehouse back to the main lodge. So
Okay.
I didn't know when I walked out by myself, but then I definitely took the shuttle back because it was a lot easier.
That's incredible. And I will tell you what, too, a lot of people don't realize with the cruise tour, right? So I think with Princess, your shortest version is 10 days total, right? 3 days of land,
Yes.
7 days cruise, but you can go up to like 15 or 16 days and start hopping around
Hmm.
all these different lodges you see here on the screen. And one in particular that has always stood out to me as you really dive into the itinerary is the Kenai Lodge and getting to go through the Kenai Fjords. I've got some clients booked on that, and they have the included Kenai Fjords cruise through everything down there. And I mean, it just looks like such an incredible experience. So I think the beauty of Alaska cruising with Princess, especially on the cruise tour, is there are so many options. I mean, there's way more options than really any of the other cruise lines has. So you can literally tailor the vacation to exactly what you want. I love that about Princess.
Yes, we actually have such popularity where when people go and do a cruise tour, they fall in love with some of these lodges and they actually will book the lodge only, just so they can have a longer stay within these lodges. I've always wanted to go to Kenai. All of my colleagues who've been to Kenai have said that they absolutely love it. It is that smaller feel too, because there is, as the slide shows, only 86 rooms available. And so
Right.
you definitely get that off the beaten path type of feel, um, as well as, like you were saying, just seeing the fjords and seeing a different part of Alaska. It's a really awesome experience. So I can't wait to experience Kenai.
I know. I tell you, I have not been on a cruise tour up to Alaska, and so it is certainly on my list to do now. If a cruise tour maybe is not your thing or you can't be gone that long, certainly there's a ton of 7 day cruise options. Even I know 14 day, and I think there's like a 10 day option out of San Francisco. But
Mhm.
I've been telling a lot of people Princess will have the newest and largest ship in Alaska next year with the Star Princess. I have a lot of people booked on Star Princess. So I'm really excited. There she is. Look at her. That's a
Yes.
beautiful ship.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're having 8 of our 17 ships in Alaska for 2026 this year. So we're
It's
very, very
incredible.
excited. She is our newest ship. She literally just launched this past October. And she's going to do this awesome. She's right now here in Florida with me, and she's
Hmm.
doing Caribbean. Then she's going to go through the Panama Canal and then make her way up to Seattle. And like you said, do those awesome 7 day inside passage itineraries. I just can't imagine being on that ship and just looking out through the dome or the sphere and seeing all those
Yeah.
beautiful glaciers. I'm like, what an awesome view. Obviously, with these bigger ships too, there's more balconies available, which is such a great perk and benefit to having this large of a ship go to Alaska.
Yeah.
So as Donovan was mentioning, we do have shorter experiences as well. I will be honest, the number one thing I hear my advisors tell me when I work with them is that when they go to Alaska, or when their clients go to Alaska and they go to Alaska, they always wish they had more time, and they
Yeah,
always wish they could stay longer
they
because
always want to go back.
exactly. And I'm like, I know I work for this company, but I'm always trying to go back to Alaska too. It's just such a magical and beautiful place. And every time you go, it's such a different experience. So it's truly such a treat. I absolutely love it. But I do want to warn people, when people go, they're like, oh, I wish I would have done like a one-way cruise to stay longer on land
Yes,
or be able to
yes.
explore more. So if you just want to sample it, if you're very scared of the cold, I'm like, we do have like 4-day options, very rare, but we will have a 4-day sampler. We do have
Mhm.
7-day, 10 days, as Donovan was mentioning. So lots of great options to really cater to what you want for your Alaska trip.
I have a question, and hopefully you can help me dispel maybe a couple of Alaska cruise myths. I hear these things all the time whenever I talk to new clients on the phone. So the number one question I have is around glaciers, and I know Princess goes to Glacier Bay,
Mhm.
Holland America. Your sister line goes to Glacier Bay.
Yes.
Glacier Bay is beautiful and is amazing. However, a lot of people think that if your itinerary doesn't have Glacier Bay, that means you're not going to get to see glaciers, and that's not true, is it?
No, it's not true at all. There's so many different glacier viewing opportunities. Princess, like you mentioned, we're very one of the lucky cruise lines that do have these permitting and is able to visit Glacier Bay. Not all cruise lines are able to access Glacier Bay, but there's things like the College Fjords that you can go cruise through and definitely see more glaciers, or even Hubbard Glacier. What's really great with the Princess exclusive offers that I was mentioning, but also our cruise tours, is all of our cruise tours visit Glacier Bay National Park. And then typically that exclusive offer I was mentioning earlier, you actually do get two glacier viewing opportunities,
Right.
excuse me, be it with Glacier Bay National Park in Hubbard or with the College Fjord. So it's truly, if you want to see glaciers, you definitely will during these itineraries. So don't think, even if you don't have Glacier Bay, you'll still have opportunities to see glaciers too.
Perfect. Yeah, appreciate you saying that, because yeah, when I explain that to people, they're like, "Oh, I didn't even realize. I thought Glacier Bay was like the only glaciers there." And the other thing I find is people may not know that Glacier Bay is not actually a port that you're necessarily, docking and getting off the ship. However, there are excursions where you can get on a smaller, like catamaran type ship, if you will, and go a lot closer to the glacier, right?
Yes, so we do have excursions like that. And yes, it's not a port that you get off on. Something that I love that Princess does when we're at Glacier Bay National Park is we'll actually get park rangers to come on board and
Yes.
actually answer questions, talk about it. If you have children, we have an excellent park rangers program that is accredited through the national park. So I know a
Hmm.
lot of younger kids, as well as just the tweens, also really enjoy doing these types of learning. They learn so much and then they get their little accreditation, which is awesome. But yes, having the park rangers on board really makes a difference. They answer questions, they showcase everything. The other thing that our ship does is it actually will spin 360 degrees so you can
Yep.
see Glacier Bay National Park no matter where you're at. You don't have to go on one side and run to the other side to be able to see it or anything. It's really great that you can be hanging out at your balcony and just looking out and seeing the whole view as the ship turns for you. Or if you want to go on the
Right.
different decks, you can do that as well. So it really depends on how you want to experience Glacier Bay. But it truly is just such a beautiful and remarkable experience to be able to go have that commentary, have the ship move for you so you don't have to be running around trying to get photos, and just really taking in those breathtaking views.
Awesome. So I have another question for you. I find this comes up a lot, and literally just today I talked to a lovely family. They have two kiddos that are like, between that 7 and 10 range. And I always tell people that Princess really is a great option for family cruising. This family in
Mhm.
particular, they have cruised with another family cruise line in the past that is famous for rock walls and surfing on board. So, I tell people Princess may not have the water slides and rock walls and things like that, but where the difference comes in, especially in Alaska, is Princess does have the North to Alaska program. And so
Yes.
when you're cruising to Alaska on Princess, it's very much about being in Alaska. Whereas with some of the other cruise lines, you're on the ship and it's maybe a little bit more about the ship and you just so happen to be going to Alaska. So I see you've got a great little graphic there, but can you tell us more, like, what is the North to Alaska program and why is it so family friendly?
Yes, of course. So the North to Alaska program is honestly one of the reasons why we think we have won the award of being number one in Alaska year and year. Just over and over. We got that award for the 22nd time, literally last year. So we're very happy. We just got that news a few weeks ago. But it is something that really makes Princess stand out. We've been in Alaska for the majority of our existence as a
Right.
company. And so we found it to be really beneficial due to the fact that we merge a lot of entertainment and education together. Princess in Alaska has worked in tandem so much with creating different things. Like I said, we were able to get park rangers on board of our ship. We have partnerships with Iditarod racers. So we've actually been able to bring speakers from those races, bring their dogs on board. So people are able to meet the racers as well as meet their dogs that help them win those races and mush together.
Yeah.
There's like the bottom right photo or bottom left hand photo. That's that park ranger program I was talking about. So again, it
Yeah.
really just intersects merging, having really fun, entertaining things, but also being very educational. As you can see, the other photos too, we'll have lumberjack shows on board or totem pole carving things. So there's a lot of great things that you can do on land, obviously, but they also bring that experience on board of our ships because it's so important. Something that I also love, you can see that photo of the salmon there. One of the really cool excursions, I haven't done it yet, but I really want to do. There's a thing called Cook My Catch.
Yes.
And so
This is
you can,
so cool.
it's the coolest thing. And I'm like, I love fishing. I grew up fishing with my dad. And so something that I've always wanted to do is you can literally go fish during one of the excursions. You can catch salmon, halibut, whatever it may be. You
Hmm.
can literally then have that fish be cooked, served to you in the main dining room, and you can literally eat the fish that you caught. It doesn't get fresher
That is
than that.
so cool.
Right? I'm like, it's just the coolest experience. I'm like, I really, really, really want to do it one day.
Yep.
But it's just awesome that you can have those types of excursions and have those types of experiences that you wouldn't kind of imagine being able to do, right? So it's truly
Definitely.
remarkable. I also want to share one little story too. One of my great colleagues, Ted, he retired earlier or late last year, and it was so funny because his granddaughter still talks about the time where she went to Alaska and they did this whole presentation about whales. And at the end of it, they got a little whale stuffy that they get to keep. And to this day, it's been years, but he says that she still brings that whale around and she still talks about her experience. She still talks about all the things that she learned about. And then she still was so inspired to learn more. So it is one of her favorite animals, and she'll have little fun facts to talk about too. So it's just really, really cute to see the world in their view, right? And see how much
Oh yeah.
the magic of Alaska really impacts it. Impacts adults too, but it really does brighten like broaden the horizon for young children too when they go. So I think that's also what makes North to Alaska really stand out for children.
No, I agree 100%. And that's, again, that's why when I'm talking to new clients and trying to help them with recommendations for Alaska, there's a lot of options out there for Alaska and they're all good, but there are some that are a little bit better. And Princess, even though there's not the water slides and things like that, there's so many other things that are going to make that Alaska cruise, that Alaska vacation, probably one of the best that they have ever been on. And they're just going to want to come back and come back again and again. So appreciate you running through that. Now, let me ask you this. It's obviously wave season.
Mhm.
For those who don't know, that's kind of the busiest cruise booking time of the year. And let me tell you, my phone has not quit ringing. And it's so funny because I have so many people, they are calling me saying, we want to go to Alaska this year. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, we need to get to work right now because it is
Yeah.
so last minute. So Is it too late to book Alaska for this year, or should people start looking to 2027? What are your thoughts?
It's not too late. It is later than most would want because obviously, if you have a desired stateroom category type that you really want, some of our ships, some of the balconies are completely sold out already,
Right.
because we do release our Alaska programs 2 years prior to sailing. So some people who know that they really want to go to Alaska will book it 2 years prior, right? But again, that doesn't mean that there isn't options available for you. Like I was mentioning, those exclusive cruise tour offers, those two that I was bringing up, those are for 2026. We actually do have the 2027 in the works. And as soon as that's released, Donovan's going to be one of the people to know first. So if 2027, and if you need a little bit more time for next year, we totally have that available. But if you're ready to book now, definitely act sooner than later.
Yep.
And now is also the perfect time because, as Donovan was mentioning, this is the really peak crazy time. We have our best sales going on now. We have our come aboard sale, so you can get up to $500 instant savings, up to 40% off your cruise fare. Deposits are 50% off, and then also free third and fourth guest to sail with you as well. So we have lots of things there. And on top of that amazing sale, we have a sale going on until January 11th, for
A
our
few more
New
days.
Year's new savings. Yes, just a few days. So I'm like, the clock is ticking. So if that sale is something that's of interest to you, our New Year's new savings sale does end January 11th. But it's kind of what's doubling up. So instead of up to $500 instant savings, it's up to $1,000 of instant savings. So it's truly a great time to book. If you're last minute booking for Alaska, if you're looking at 2027, now's definitely the time to start booking with Donovan.
Yeah, no, I would agree 100%. And the thing about it is coming and booking your cruise with me. Again, you said earlier, Princess has 8 different ships in Alaska. There's all these different itineraries. When you start talking about cruise tours and land, there's even more options, and it can be very
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming. Even if you're a seasoned cruiser, it can be very overwhelming to go through all of those options, find the right itinerary, the right ship, the best price. And whenever you work with me, I just do all of that for you, and I'm there to help you every step of the way until you get back home. And I find it so funny. I find a lot of people, there's still this kind of misconception out there that if you're booking with a travel agent, you're paying more or something like that. And that's absolutely not the case. Literally, the pricing that I pull for people, for those who are watching, is from Princess. Now, just as you were saying earlier, there are some times where we'll have some really nice exclusive offers, exclusive pricing, onboard credits, extra things that we can add on. But you're certainly not ever paying more to book your cruise with me, but you're getting a lot more service, and support. And again, just removing all of that stress of finding the right cruise and making sure that you don't miss out on anything.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing too, is when, let's hope there's no issues that go on. I always manifest that for all of my advisors.
Fingers
I work with
crossed.
clients, fingers crossed. I'm like, please, 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 no. But the good thing is, if there ever is a situation that arises, you have access to Donovan, who then has access to me, and I'm able to
Hmm.
escalate things a lot faster. Having that safety net is always so comfortable. And I have another little plug about Princess in Alaska. Princess, since we own and operate all of our lodges too, everything is done through Princess, which is incredible. When I
Yep.
was in Alaska, my flight was delayed 2 hours from Orlando, and then literally my bag did not make it on the flight from Seattle to Alaska. So I was panicked because I've never actually had that happen, even though I've been traveling my whole life. And so I was
Yep.
really not sure what to do. And it was so funny because when I went to the baggage claim desk, they were like, your bag's already on the next flight. Don't worry, we have it marked. So they were
Yep.
already doing all of that. And then by the time when I was talking to the baggage claim people as well, they told me that they would get my bag and shuttle it over to the hotel for me. So I didn't have to go all the way to the airport by myself. Granted, in Alaska, it was a very quick trip, but it was really nice that they actually sent my bag from the
Right.
airport to Fairbanks for me. So again, everything is done through and through seamlessly. But again, if issues happen, you're able to reach out to Donovan and have more of a greater level and connection with Princess because, again, you're working with a travel advisor.
Yep. No, I would agree 100%. So We've talked a lot about Alaska. Alaska is certainly a hot, hot destination. But again, we talked earlier, Princess goes to a lot of other places. So what next place do you want to talk about? Where should we go in the world?
That's a great question. Something that I always love mentioning with Princess too, even if you're, I just came back from Japan in May and we did a phenomenal job. If Japan is something that interests you, I always recommend, especially if it's your first time, going on board a ship is an excellent way to experience Asia and experience Japan specifically too. We have so many itineraries that literally can take you and go a full loop around all of Japan with multiple different ports. We have over 50 different ports in Japan. So we have such awesome itineraries. And what I love about it is they do such a great job of balancing both what's it called, English programming and American programming and Japanese programming.
Right.
So one of the days they had the newlywed game in Japanese, the next day they had it in English. So it was really great being
Oh,
able
that's
to
really cool.
experience that. Yeah, and I speak Japanese and I am obviously speaking in English. So like I knew I was going to be fine, but I was really worried because I had a whole group on board with me. Luckily, they did such a great way of balancing it all together that it just was such a seamless or experience. Another thing is, I know some people are scared to go to Japan because they may have certain dietary restrictions or they might be a little bit more picky or not as adventurous of eaters. What's great of going through Japan on a cruise ship is you have the safety net of being able to have both Japanese food on board and American food on board
Right.
without you having to search for it yourself when you're exploring the country. So I loved it because I would have Japanese appetizers, fettuccine alfredo for my entree, and then a Japanese dessert. Like I was living. So it truly is such a great way to be able to experience just so many different countries, but especially Japan. I think it's a hot spot. Many people are interested in
Yeah,
going. Many people are
definitely.
scared to go because of the language barriers too. But obviously, when you go through our excursions, you have a guide that speaks in English too, so there's won't be a language barrier. They take you through all the different areas of those ports. So I thoroughly had an incredible time when I did my Japan sailing, and I grew up going to Japan all the time. But I truly can't wait to go back on a cruise in Japan as well.
That is incredible. And you are literally spot on. I tell people all the time, in my opinion, cruising is a great way to see most any place in the world because it's just so much simpler. Just take Japan as an example, right? Planning your own lodging, your own accommodations, your own transportation, where you want to go, where you're going to eat, that can be really challenging and difficult. And when you do it on a cruise, right, you can go and explore for the day, especially when you're cruising in other parts of the world that aren't like the Caribbean. You have a lot longer port times or even
Mhm.
overnight stays. So
Yep.
you can still immerse in the local culture and really get a sense of what's going on in that destination. But then you get to come back to the comfort of your cruise ship and you've got the meals taken care of, your lodging. You're not having to figure out, what train to get on to go to the next place. So it is a much simpler and in a lot of ways more cost effective way than doing, a traditional land vacation.
Definitely. Yeah, the value is definitely there. My other favorite part, and I always talk about this, undoing your suitcase and taking out all of your clothes and hanging things up and then do it's so
Just
bad.
one
So I
time
just
on a cruise.
one time on a cruise, I just came back from Japan this past holiday break and New Year's, and I had three suitcases shared between my partner and I, and it was just not a fun time navigating the train system with so many suitcases, getting to one area, living out of a suitcase. And I always miss having a nice closet that cruise ships give you. So you just need to unpack once, pack again once. So that was really, yeah, it's one of those things that the comfort is so nice having that backing of having your room, where home is, it's on the ship, you just go back there.
Yep.
And then like you were saying too, Princess has more, we call it more ashore as well. And so a lot of our itineraries are including those overnight stays. So when I sailed with Princess in Japan, we actually stayed in Taiwan overnight. So we were able to
Oh,
experience a
wow.
very historical area called Keelung. And then the next day we had, I didn't book an excursion. So I just explored the city and went to Taipei. And that was so incredible, being able to have that opportunity to kind of go through a booked excursion, but then also have my own day to explore by myself. So,
Yeah.
really awesome opportunities that more and more of our itineraries are including those more shore times.
Yeah. And I'll tell you too, if you're someone that has a little bit more time on your hands and you can take a longer cruise, Princess definitely checks the box there with longer cruises. One of my personal favorites is repositioning cruises, and I will tell folks there is I want to say it's a 21-day repo cruise, technically a Panama Canal cruise on the Star Princess, the brand new ship. And let me tell you, the prices on that cruise, I was just looking at it the other day, are not that bad for 21 days, starting in Fort Lauderdale, ending in, gosh, it would be Seattle, I guess. Seattle or yes, Seattle.
I believe Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, I think Seattle. 21 days going through the Panama Canal on a brand new ship. Prices are not bad. I could see myself booking that one for me. I think that cruise is in March or starts in March, might be April. But all that to say that there are so many cruise options with Princess. And actually, it's a good plug over to Hawaii. So Princess does some amazing round trip from LA cruises, and from San Francisco out to Hawaii. We're actually going to be hosting a group in April of 2027. We've got, gosh, I think we have 8 or 9 cabins now that are going on
That's
this group
awesome.
trip with us. I'll pop the details here on the screen, but maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so it's awesome that we have these Hawaii itineraries too. What's really great, as you can see, you have so many days. Obviously, you have a lot of sea days as you navigate through the ocean, but it's really great. It's great too because it's round trip LA, so you only need to fly into one port in one area, but then also just having these different ocean and island viewing opportunities. Obviously, too, it's really nice that they break out the sea days. But what I personally enjoy is there's so much entertainment, so much to do during those sea days, especially if you're with an amazing group. You all can meet up if you'd like. And
Yep.
there's just a lot to do to be able to experience the ship. I think for shorter itineraries, I always get sad because it's the last day that I finally feel like I understood the feel of the ship. And then there's always things where I'll go on like Instagram and I'm like, I didn't even know that they had that restaurant, right? Like there's so
Yep.
much that the ship has to offer. So being able to have these longer length cruises too is absolutely incredible. There's so much to do in these islands too. Obviously, such beautiful views as well. So being able to just cruise through and see these different islands, see a different landscape of it coming in from the waters too is an absolute treat. So if you haven't already, or if you're interested, definitely reach out to Donovan, talk to him more about this trip because it truly is an awesome, awesome itinerary that we have.
It's going to be such a fun time. And for everybody watching at home, I've got the details popped up here on the screen. But that cruise is on the beautiful Emerald Princess. I am so excited. A nice medium-sized ship. This cruise is April 4th through the 20th in 2027. So still plenty of time to kind of plan and prepare for it. And, to me, I think it's the perfect cruise because if you're a sea day person and like to just relax, I mean, you've got 5 sea days on both ends of the itinerary to enjoy the ship and just chill. But then you've got those 4 Hawaiian ports. We have a late port of call in Honolulu, and I will tell folks we just have a few cabins left. We do have some inside cabins, we have balconies, we have a couple suites, and our pricing, because we have a group going, we have some really aggressive pricing from Princess. So if you're interested in going, we've got our website popped up there on the screen. Please reach out while we still have a few cabins available. Now, with that, I know you wanted to touch on some new Northern Europe and Baltic itineraries. Would you like to take us through what those look like? I think that would be super, super
Yeah.
exciting.
So it's so exciting that we have this new Regal Princess joining our itineraries and voyages that we have going on in Europe this year. We have more than 100 ports in Europe, which is absolutely incredible. So we're very, very excited about this as well. As you can see, there's just so much. We have larger ships in this area. As I mentioned before, we also have smaller and mid-sized ships. So it really does offer many different experiences that you might want, that you might be interested in. Obviously, with smaller ships, they're able to navigate into smaller port areas as well. So it's really great that we have this many ports of calls within Europe, and that we
It's like
do have an
basically
additional
everywhere.
basically everywhere. So it's a really great thing. And then again, we're just very excited. There's so much that we have to offer with our Europe, the Mediterranean. Obviously, you get such great views of the historical things like the ancient ruins, seeing Renaissance items, as well as, of course, food and wine. You can never go wrong there. With the British Isles, you can obviously have lively pubs and music. You can definitely see castles, other royal type of landmarks. And then, of course, with Northern Europe, just having those other experiences of medieval towns, Vikings, having the stunning fjords as well. And then again, too, having other experiences like Iceland and Greenland as well. Just so many opportunities we have with our Europe. And again, I just love looking at our port of call slide to really show you that if there's certain places that you want to go to, you most definitely probably can with Princess, because we have so many different options for you to be able to go and cruise through all of Europe.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that map, just like you said, you can almost go just about anywhere with Princess. And, very similar to, talking about Japan and some of the other places, but seeing the Mediterranean, seeing Europe, Northern Europe, the Baltics, doing it on a cruise is really, in my opinion, the way to do it, because you have those longer port times, you have late stays, overnight stays, you can really immerse yourself in the destinations you're going, but then go back to the comfort of your cruise ship. And I will tell folks, I have been to not all by any means, but several of these destinations there in Norway, through the Mediterranean, and there is just so much to see. And let me ask you this: so booking this far out, what advantages are there? I know they're not live just quite yet, but there will
Mhm.
be really, really soon. So, what are some advantages to booking these type of trips, farther out in advance?
Yeah, farther in advance does give you better pricing as well. And then also, if you're trying to have a group, maybe you have a family reunion, maybe it's a milestone birthday that you want to have, booking ahead of time definitely will secure your spot. Obviously, if you want to have a larger group, you get desired stateroom category types, as well as just the pricing. Like I said, we have incredible sales going on now, as well as with our wave sale that would apply for this. And then also, we usually have a sale that correlates with the program releases of this Northern Europe program. So again, there's lots of great sales, lots of great benefits, lots of great possible onboard credit opportunities that you can get. So booking earlier is definitely better than booking closer in. Also, a better thing too is it can really help you start mapping out international flights, right? You're able to
Yep.
really plan out ahead of time, give yourself that leeway, really track flights and find a good cost for you to be able to go, rather than booking in closer in and noticing, oh wow, like flights are thousands of dollars, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of good benefits as to why you should book prior, and yeah.
No, great answer. And I would tell people, if you look at this map and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't even know where I want to go. Again, that's a great reason, guys, to schedule that cruise planning call with me. I will sit down and kind of talk through the different destinations, the different itineraries, and really try to get a sense of where you want to go and what you want to experience, and then match that up with the right itinerary and the right ship for you. And again, that's the beautiful thing with Princess is, it's really a lot of variety in the ship itself. You've got the big ships over there. I know Star Princess heads across the pond each summer. You've got some of the smaller ships if you want something a little bit more intimate. So there truly is an option out there for everybody, whether it's Europe or anywhere else in the world. Now I'm curious, one of my favorite things that Princess has that I think is just such a great value, and I know we've touched on it before, but Princess Plus, Princess Premier. Could you
Yes.
kind of walk us through? Because those are, I mean, to me, those are some of the best deals in cruising and a great way to make your cruise basically all inclusive. So what the heck are those packages?
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely love this. I may be biased because I work for Princess, but truly, I've been on many cruises. Again, born and raised from Florida, so I love cruising. But I do think we have the best packages at sea, point blank. Our Princess Plus package, pre-cruise for ships that are not Sun and Star Princess, is $65 per person per day. And then if you're on Sun and Star Princess, it's a little bit more expensive because it's our newer ships. It's there's a lot more opportunities on board as well. So that's going to be $70 per person per day. Something that's very important for you to know is if you are interested in these packages, it's better to add it to your booking prior to sailing. If you do not do that on board, it actually is going to be an additional $5 per person per day, making it so much more expensive when you could have saved that adding it to your booking prior to sailing. You also must do it within 3 days of departure. So I always say, just to be safe, add it minimum a week prior,
Right.
but don't risk it and don't not add it. It's such a great deal. With our package, you also get, so for the plus package, you get 15 drinks per day. And so for those 15 drinks, that's going to include your alcoholic beverages, your mocktails, fountain drinks like sodas, but your specialty coffees and teas are unlimited. So
Right.
that's a great thing. I love the specialty coffees we have on board, and it's great that it doesn't go towards your counts of drinks per day. You also get up to 12 water bottles per day. And this is a recent update that we've changed for 2026. But our packages have seen a little bit of a refresh within the past few months due to the fact that we've gotten a lot of guest feedback of things that they weren't utilizing, like specialty desserts people weren't taking. There was fitness classes and people were like, I'm not taking that either. So we really reworked these plans for 2026 and a lot of our guests have been enjoying it. We've increased the casual dining meals to 4 credits per guest. This is my favorite Alfredo's. It's the pizzeria we have on board. I always make it a point to eat that when I'm on board. We have the
Yes.
best pizza at sea. But eat other dining areas such as O'Malley's or Ocean Terrace. Those types of casual specialty dining opportunities will be included in that. Again, the casual. So you'll get 4 credits for that. You'll get Wi-Fi for 1 device, and then your daily gratuities are included in this price. So when you're including all of those factors, $65 or $70 per day is an amazing value
It
when
really
daily
is.
gratuities can be a minimum for a balcony, I believe, is $16 or $17. Wi-Fi, if you were to pay for all of these items a la carte and grab a few drinks, you can easily be spending more than $60 or $70 per day. It's very funny to see people on board. You'll see during the first day, people will avoid the plus and premier people on board. And then you'll see by day 2, there's a whole line of people going to upgrade their package on
Yeah.
board because they're seeing, oh, when I'm on a cruise, I do like drinking a lot more than I thought I would. Or, so it definitely does add up. And when they look at their folio, they're like, maybe I should have gotten the package. So
Yeah.
we definitely see that. If you're somebody who loves an all-inclusive experience, I always recommend the Princess Premier Bundle. This is now set at $100 per person per day. And then for Sun and Star Princess, it's going to be at $105 per person per day. This now includes unlimited beverages. And then the alcoholic beverages are up to $20 each. And so, again, you have unlimited drinks, which is great, 12 water bottles per day. You also have that unlimited dining experiences. So, our specialty dining, our casual dining experiences, obviously, our complimentary dining, main dining room, buffets are all included as well. But if you wanted to really treat yourself and eat at a specialty dining every night, you totally could with this package. You also, with both, oops, sorry, I forgot to mention this. We also offer Ocean Now delivery and room service delivery. Those charges are included in both of these packages. Ocean Now delivery, I like to describe it as ship service as opposed to room service. So when you are sitting by the pool, you can pull out your phone, tap what food and drinks you want. Within 15 to 20 minutes, one of our crew will bring over your drinks and food over to you. So it doesn't pull you out of your vacation experience. It's a really high tech function that Princess has to offer. And again, it's a really great, I love the ship service where you can go and, just order your food and drinks wherever you want. Or I've even had a time where I've ordered sunscreen because I did not have sunscreen and I was getting roasted. So
And they brought it
needed
right to you.
and they brought it to me, which was great. So it was a really awesome experience that I didn't have to run back down and go to my room, grab other things, or try to look for sunscreen. And it was just a really great safety net to have on board. You now get Wi-Fi for 4 different devices on this.
Per person.
Per person, yes, per guest. So you don't have to, if you have your laptop, your phone, your tablet, you don't have to worry about toggling off. Another thing, sorry to keep bouncing back and forth with Princess Plus, although it's only one device for Wi-Fi, you can toggle between the devices. So you can go on your phone, and then if you're back in your stateroom and you want to go on your laptop, you can transfer it over to your laptop. I think some cruise lines lock you into one device. But Princess allows you to toggle between your different devices, which is great. But if you have the Princess Premier, no worries at all. You have 4 different devices. You also can get a shore excursion credit if you are sailing with the Princess Premier. So for 6 to 9 days, you'll get $100 per guest. For 10 to 20 days, you'll get $200 per guest. And for 21 day plus, you'll get $300 per guest of a shore excursion credit. So that is really great. Of course, in this one too, you have your daily gratuities included. There's reserved theater seating for you available as well. And for Princess Photos, you get all of your unlimited digital photos plus 3 prints, just all included in your Princess Premier bundle. So again, once you start pricing these things out, it really does make a difference, and it does make sense to get it as a package as opposed to getting it as a booking it a la carte. So if you like that all-inclusive experience, the Princess Premier bundle is definitely for you.
Yeah, you're definitely spot on. And I will tell you, I can imagine cruisers, right? They're going on family vacation or family reunion. I feel like that princess photo, right? That seems a little underrated, but that could be such a huge savings because photos are not cheap on a cruise.
No.
$15, $20, $30 a photo. So that is huge. The shore excursion credit, I mean, that is just basically reducing the cost of the actual program, having the gratuities included that you don't have to even worry about it. So when you factor those, it's like, it's such a great deal. Most people these days are going to buy Wi-Fi anyway. So I always tell people, whether you're someone who drinks a little bit, not at all, there's still a lot of value in the package. And again, buying it before your cruise, you're going to save a little bit of money versus waiting on the cruise and then having to wait in that line on day number 2 to get the package. So
exactly.
now, does Princess, do you guys cut off, like say after day 2 or day 3, the package you can't buy anymore on the ship?
I believe yes. I think within a few days of, I want to say maybe 3 to 4 days of sailing, they may cut it off. I'm not 100% on that. So let me get back to you, Donovan, about that. But they do cut it off at a certain point. You won't be able to upgrade your package.
Right. I knew something like that. And for everyone who is going to be cruising on Star Princess there in Alaska, or maybe the brand new Her Sister Sun Princess down in Florida or over in the Med, when you're talking about the dining piece of these packages, those ships have something like, is it like 25 or 30 different eateries to eat at, right?
Yeah. There's many different options.
You could literally go your entire cruise, never touch the buffet, never touch main dining room, and still not experience all of the other dining options that there are that you would have unlimited access to with, say, Princess Premier. So
yep, that was actually my experience. I went on the Sun Princess. I had the premiere and I did eat specialty dining every night, as I should, because I had the package. And I really wanted to experience the different restaurants, and I still didn't get through all of the restaurants. So even to this day, there's certain restaurants that I haven't had yet. And so it just makes me excited to be able to go back and experience it. But yeah, there was just some dining, like even in we have a new teppanyaki place, which is like the hibachi place. They have both hibachi or like teppanyaki type of food where they do
Yeah.
the whole show and they cook it in front of you. But in the backside of the restaurant, they have hot pot. So like I had both of
Okay.
those, you know, and it was just such an awesome experience. But again, there's just so many eateries, so many different things that you can go for the restaurants here. And yeah, I didn't have enough time to go through them all. So I'm excited to go
You'd have to go
back.
back.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, now I just gotta go back. But yeah, it's truly such an awesome experience. And the food is so good on board. As I was mentioning, there's certain things that I crave still. So the pizza, I go get the Princess Pizza all the time, or the International Cafe. I dream about the almond croissants and pistachio croissants, even when I'm off the ship. I'm always like, that would be so good right now. Um, so yeah, there's just lots of great opportunities. Another thing I love talking about with the Sun and Star Princess too is we had this experience called Spellbound, and
Yes.
it's in
Talk about
partnership
that.
with Magic Castle. Yeah, that one is so cool. They actually are in partnership with Magic Castle, as I was saying, and Magic Castle is this exclusive, invite only magician's house located in Los Angeles, and we actually, since we're partnered, we'll have these magicians on rotation on our ships doing this really cool experience. And so it's a speakeasy experience that you can go into and experience and get some really cool craft cocktails that are only available in that area. And then they have somebody doing up close card magic. And then there's another theater in the back where you see more magic being done. Again, these are very accredited and incredible magicians. I've been on both the Sun Princess and the Star Princess. I still cannot explain how they did certain tricks. It was just so cool. And yeah, it's just such an awesome experience. So truly, if that's something that sounds interesting to you, these new ships have these really cool experiences on board. I know there's some people, even though these are newer ships, I've met people on board who are like, we don't get off at the port sometimes because there's so
There's so
much to
much to do.
explore and do. Yeah. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, that's so funny because I love going off at the ports and experiencing the different locations. But there are a lot of people who just love the ships and they just stay on the ships.
Yeah. And if you're someone that likes the new ships, of course, you have Star Princess that will be doing Alaska here in just a couple months. Sun Princess, she heads over to the Mediterranean in the summertime. But then I guess, let's see, after Alaska cruising, you'll have both Star and Sun back in Florida doing
The
Caribbean cruising,
Caribbean.
right? 7 and 14-day cruises.
Yes. We're very excited. Caribbean is huge for us as well. Not many people think about Princess for Caribbean, but again, we have so many voyages. Last year, we actually expanded into San Juan. So we're able to get a lot a more amazing kind of itineraries, really going from
Right.
places like Antigua, Barbados, St. Lucia. So even more itineraries and opportunities because we have that additional port. So if the Caribbean, if you love escaping to the warmth, definitely check Princess out for that as well.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on today. I know we've ran a little bit late. I have one final question to leave you with,
Yes.
but if you could kind of sum everything up into one description or one sentence, but who is Princess Cruises really for? What, is Princess Cruises the best for?
Yeah, it's for everyone. I know many people would probably say that, but Princess, we're really seeing so many different demographics on board. We have a lot of 35 plus. Obviously, we have a lot of 50 plus on board too. We're seeing in certain locations, so like Caribbean, Europe, and in Alaska, especially, you'll see a wide range. You'll see multi-gen, you'll see people getting married, you'll see people having their honeymoon trips, you'll see family reunions, birthday trips, right? So there's certain locations that have more certain demographics. But if you look at something like a 21-day Panama Canal, you might not have the most families on board, which is definitely so what some people look forward to, right?
Yeah.
But there are just, it truly is, once you go on board, Princess is all about love. And so I think when people go on board, they find something they love about Princess, and they just fall in love with the brand and love being a part of that family, the Princess family. So I know it's cheesy and corny to say that it's for everyone, but I truly do believe you'll find something that you love about Princess if you come on board.
No, I agree 100%. There's definitely a princess ship and a princess itinerary out there for everybody. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, folks, if we can help you plan your next cruise on Princess, we've got our QR code right there on the screen. Scan it or head over to our website, right over there. Schedule that cruise planning call. I have been doing this for quite a while, and it is the fastest, easiest way. Is let's just hop on the phone for 15, 20 minutes, talk about what type of cruise you're looking for, and we're going to match you up with the perfect Princess cruise for you, and always make sure that you get the very best deal out there. So Sarah, thank you again so much for coming. It's always a blast having you on, and definitely look forward to having you again in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me, and Happy New Year's, everyone.
Yes.
And yes, I'm excited to work with you all as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.